Hi everyone, this is Julianne Victoria of Through the Peacock's Eyes. Welcome to my channel. This is part 4 of my Halloween, Samhain, and autumn season deck tour video. It is completely dark outside, so there's no natural light coming in, so it's going to look a little dark on camera, but that actually fits because I'm going to show you, briefly discuss, what I call sort of scary, creepy decks. So these definitely go along with sort of the scary Halloween energy. Now, the first one I want to talk about here is one I've talked about before in my video 5 Unusual and Unique Tarot Decks, and I'll link that on screen at the end if you want to see a little bit more in depth about this deck. But it is the Tarot of Shadows. Now, it comes with a nice little hard-covered book. This is card size, but it's a little hardcover book. And it's really helpful to use. So it goes into like a couple pages on each of the cards. And you can see they're called like Arcana 38. The cards are numbered 1 through 78. So it's not divided into suits or elements. It does also come with a couple of key cards to help you sort of associate them or translate them to a traditional tarot card to help you learn this deck. Though that's not necessary. This is somewhat of a tarot oracle deck, more than like a traditional tarot system. So anyway, let's show you some of the cards. This is the backs. Here we have number 17, the Star of Lucifer. And even though that's called the Star of Lucifer, and 17 in a traditional tarot is the star, there isn't a one-to-one correlation like that throughout the deck. Number 1 is Satan. And in my other video, I included this deck because it actually is a great one to get into your own shadow work. Okay. 37, Lord Pengerswick. So this deck does draw upon different stories, different mythologies, different cultures. 61 is Envy. 29, Archimedes' Mirror. 53, Monk Abel. So the book is actually really helpful with this deck. 68, Agasfer. Like, I have no idea who this is, so I would have to look it up, and then that came up in a reading. This isn't a deck I use with clients. It's more for my collection and some personal work. I would then do research on it as well. 54 is Ghost. 36, Magic Wand. 28, Ring of Fastrada. 51, Agrippa. And one more, 39, Centaur Chiron, the Wounded Healer. Okay, so you get an idea of that deck there. And then the next deck I want to talk about is the Carnival at the End of the World. Now the other side of the box says a tarot deck invented and realized by Misters Orlovsky and Falke of the troupe Fledermaus. And it has a book. I won't say it comes with a book because I bought the book, I believe I bought the book separately. I think so. Not through their website, but you had to buy it somewhere else. So it's called Madame Lulu's Book of Fate, and Madame Lulu is the one who runs the carnival or something like that. Let's show you what it looks like on the inside. So they have sort of like ink blot images of the cards and a little description of it. So let me show you some of the cards. And one thing it's interesting about this deck, it's a little bit larger than tarot size cards, so that's the back, is it's like a slinky. It's slinky. That's how it moves. It's like slippery, but it reminds me of a slinky. Do you know what a slinky is? Okay, so there are some extra cards in this deck. And it's interesting. So we have tempest, which would be air, the deluge, which is water, the inferno, which would be fire, but then there's not a card that represents earth. Instead, there are the three characters of the carnival, and that's why I read the back of the deck. So we have Madame Lulu, as in Madame Lulu's Book of Fate. And then we have Orlovsky and Dr. Falk or Falca. So there's Orlovsky and Falca. So interesting characters. So that's added to the deck. I haven't used these with it yet, because I'm not sure if I want to. And the book does not go into those characters, which is why I bought the book separately, because I wanted to know more about them, but it doesn't have those cards in it. Okay, so let me show you some of the cards here. We have the Fool. And, you know, this is a carnival, so it's like, the deck is like a freak show, basically. So we have the Magician. Just odd, unusual things. Some of these may be, you know, scary, creepy to some people. Some may not. High Priestess. Put these back in order. I do have this deck in order because I'm kind of studying it, so I like to keep them in order when I do that. The Empress. The Emperor. The Hierophant. The Lovers. So just unusual. The Chariot. Strength. The Hermit. Let me see if I can find some. Here we have Death. The Devil. The Tower. So these are more like images that might scare small children, or if you went to an old freak show or something. There's definitely some creepy factors to it. We have the Four of Swords here. The Seven of Swords. Now I'm getting them all out of order. Okay. The Page of Swords. So very surreal. Very surreal. The Two of Pentacles. Okay, so you get an idea of this deck now that I've got it all out of order. That's okay. But what's interesting, you know, it's like a made-up story of the carnival at the end of the world. So it's like, it's not just a unique artistic representation of the tarot. It's a story behind it that was created for it. And I believe they have, like, the tarot deck is just one part of this story. So it's like the whole thing is a giant work of art. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now, my next three decks are three decks from Deviant Moon. And they also go along with a story that I believe is made up about Mildred Payne. And Mildred Payne was a child. There's actually a little card here that describes it perfectly. So I'll read that because it will make much more sense. Oh, and it's so tiny. Okay. So the story of Mildred Payne, I'm going to read the back of one of the teeny little oracle cards. And because the light is low, I'm going to use my little magnifying glass to read this. Okay, in 2017, asylum workers discovered an old hospital gown hidden in a wall. Mildred was written on the inside collar. Upon further examination of the garment, the workers were surprised to find a tiny pocket sewn into the underside containing a crude yet mysterious handmade oracle. So it says, this following deck is the exclusive reproduction of Mildred Payne's Secret Pocket Oracle. So I think I'm pretty sure it's a made-up story about a little girl who was institutionalized, and she created her own little pocket oracle. Now, all three of these decks come with these little extra cards, and this is a picture of Mildred when she was a little girl. I just love the whole like artistic thing of making up this story. Everything's a part of this big story. It's just is really creative to me. But these decks are very creepy and scary. They're definitely like Halloween time decks. Not that you couldn't use them other times of the year. Okay, but let me start with the big one, as in size. It is Mildred Payne, Oracle of the Black Enchantment. Get the glare off there. It's a little hard to do without much light. This is the back. And I'll show you some of the cards here. So these I've been keeping in order as well. So this is number 1. Oh, and I should mention, it doesn't come with a book, but you can download the PDF to print off, and I have done that. So I printed off the PDF for all the cards. And so they do have names. I'll show you a page here. But the names are not on the cards. But I'll just show you some of the cards here. So, 1, number 2, and there's actually a story through the cards as well. So you get an idea of what this deck is like. But definitely goes along with a lot of scary stories you may have heard of or heard during the Halloween season. Okay, and one more. All right, so that's the Oracle of the Black Enchantment, Mildred Payne's. Okay, and then the Secret Pocket Oracle. I have 2 versions of it. I have the normal one, the original, and I also have the Seance edition. Now this one glows under black light, but you can kind of see it just in the dark. And so I'll show you that. And the Seance edition also has, the backs of them are like pieces of a puzzle that actually make like a Ouija board. So that's just the creativity in this whole production. I love it. It's just so creative. Okay, so let me show you some of the Secret Pocket Oracle. I'll just hold them up. You can see fetus, time. And so these were created by a little girl. Oh, these are the backs. A fictional little girl. So it's child's drawings, right? 3, hag and writing. Girl, boy. And these are just so, they're just so cute and tiny. Devil, tooth, and there's like blood stains on some of them. goes along with the whole creepy, scary, I'll show you her picture again. Creepy, scary, crazy Mildred Payne. Blood, ear, eye. So very simple, very cute. It does come, both of them come with a little paper with little meanings of the cards. So you get a little help there. But you can definitely just work to read these intuitively, right? So that's the regular pocket oracle. And then the Seance edition, again, the backs are all different because they're pieces of a puzzle that make up a Ouija board, but there's some of Mildred's writing on them too. Let's see if I can find one. And I actually haven't sat down to put all those pieces together yet. Let's see. There's one with a lot of her writing. Well, you can see part of her writing on that one. Okay, so, but let's look through some of these cards. Now the coloring is to help them to glow under black light, but they do kind of glow in the dark. And I'm going to turn the light out and do that for you. Just show you a few first in the light. Poppet, wall, house, ooh, moth. We'll show that one in the dark. Wheel. Okay, so let me turn the lights out, the one light out, and see how these look in the dark. They don't super glow, but the light coloring and whatever is in them to help them really glow under black light does make them somewhat visible in the dark. Okay, there we go. So they sort of just glow in the dark. So if you're really into Halloween and you like to have Halloween haunted house parties, this might be a fun little deck to get. I don't know if I'll ever really use this with anyone, maybe someday if I had a Halloween party or something like that. I just thought it was really cute. I love the creativity and the imagination that's gone into this whole creation. It makes it fun as a purchaser, a recipient of the decks, to know that there's a story and then, you know, there might be more to come. So it's just really fun. But those are my, I guess, creepy and scary Halloween decks for my Halloween, Samhain, and autumn season deck tour videos. Is there anything else I wanted to say? I think that was it. I hope you enjoyed these videos. It's been fun for me to do them. It's gotten me to really kind of look through my collection. Yeah, and if there's anything you want to see about the decks I have or anything else tarot oracle card related, let me know. Leave that in the comments below. Otherwise, have a wonderful Halloween, have a wonderful Samhain, and happy autumn or spring if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. Thanks, everyone. Oh, and thank you for stopping by, liking, sharing, and subscribing, and I'll see you back here soon.